Hey guys, welcome back to AmSamFam.
Today we're in the village of VAITOGI, which is not too far from Tafuna and from where we live over in TUTUILA. But we are visiting a very special friend today who has a banana plantation, and she's offered to take us on a tour of the banana plantation today.
So we have brought you guys to VAITOGI before. If you remember, we brought you down to Whangama'a, or as we like to call it, Hidden Beach. And so you can check out that video there. But now we're going to see another part of VAITOGI. And so we're going to go tour the banana plantation, and Sheila's going to give us some of the history around VAITOGI and just some cool information about the village out here. The drive back here wasn't too bad. It was beautiful driving through some banana plantations, and looks like a newly paved road for part of it, which was really nice and different than what else we've experienced here in VAITOGI.
Very windy, long drive. I kind of hope we don't have to try to find our own way out of here.
Yeah. But we got here and we jumped out of the cars, and just part of life here in American Samoa is that there are a lot of territorial dogs. And so Kip jumped out of the car and kind of started running across the lawn, and one of the dogs came and tried to get him. And luckily, Sheila was able to grab him up real quick and yelled at the dog, and
he's all right. No blood.
Yep.
A couple little bite marks, but nothing too bad.
Full recovery is expected.
Yeah. I want to give a big shout out to our friend Sheila and her family for taking the time to let a little Palangi family come and explore their beautiful land here. All right, let's go check it out.
VAITOGI consists of two major sa'os, and that's Au'au, while this is the Tupua side. And this is the original Tupua. There's the level of chiefs, so he is the head chief. Under him, there's a talking chief, a few other, noble chiefs. There used to be a lot of river rocks, and it kind of gives me the idea that there must have been a stream back in the days, or either that, or you know how Samoans are. The hike is back there. It's a 30-foot drop.
Yeah.
We're Samoans. We like to do everything the hard way and haul it. There's just something about traditional farming. But a lot of people don't understand it's hard work. This heat, it's what my guys and myself and my kids work in. So we can go this way. These are kind of different stages. We try to always keep food in the ground.
Yeah.
So taro is perfect because we're prone to severe winds, hurricanes. So all that forestry, Melinda, that's me.
Oh, cool.
All that. And I keep indigenous plants. You see those coconuts?
Yeah.
They're hazards, so I try to cut them down because we always have smaller. Funny thing is, Nate, the bananas, you know how like you would go to any farm and they're so lined up.
Oh yeah.
Initially, there was rhyme and reason. It was all lined up. But the initial ancestors of these bananas, they're long-eaten bananas, so they sprout. Bananas are perpetual. This banana tree will have a whole bunch of baby trees.
Okay.
Now, the maximum amount of baby trees that we allow to grow with him, the one that's producing fruit, and 3 more.
Okay.
It's total 4.
So when the one produces fruit and its fruit's done, do you chop it down at that point?
You chop it down.
Okay.
And then you throw it back down. And believe it or not, the roots are so embedded in the soil that they just continue to come up. And there are places where it looks like there's no bananas growing. Believe it or not, it's still growing from the bottom.
There's no banana seeds that plant, it's all shoots is what it is.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. During Gita, by the time my husband and I came back, it was flat.
Yeah.
Everything was flat. But we also know that even if the banana trees fall, leave it alone because it's still collecting nutrients from the soil. All you do is just cut some of the leaves and cover it to protect it from the sun.
But if there's a storm coming, many times you'll see farmers cut them down before they get blown down.
Oh, okay.
He's grooming the trees to keep them healthy, and the more that you get rid of all the dead leaves or the downed bananas, the better for the existing banana produce. I am so sick of bananas. But, you know, I will care for them. It's just like, you know, what they say about the shoemakers, kids have no shoes. My children, they don't want to see bananas on the dinner table, but I make sure it's there.
What's that purple thing hanging down from the bananas?
Just like our plants, you know how like a rose will bud and then there's a flower. Well, bananas have a way of telling us that it's almost ready. So when it buds out like that and you see the heart, that's what people call the heart of the banana, the reddish thing. That's telling us that it's getting near to mature bananas, grown bananas. And we chop off the heart. About 4 or 3 weeks later, he's a mature banana. You got to think of it as overpopulation.
Yeah.
If you're overpopulated, not everybody is getting fed. So the fingers, we take the last of the fingers off. And what you're telling the banana to do when you take these fingers out is to send more food.
Ah.
And then no matter what everything else looks like, you throw it back down because it fertilizes itself.
It's kind of like what we would do with like tomato plants back in the States, is you take off the little nubs they're growing to try to get all the nutrients to the...
Yeah. We produce about close to 2,000 pounds a week of just regular bananas.
Whoa.
Yeah. What my husband and I do is when we do make profit, try to stick a good percentage back into the farm. Thus, the off-road vehicles.
Yeah, that's smart.
This farm, it's so fertile that I can't work fast enough. We haven't even tapped the tip of the iceberg, but it just produces. So we try to not use chemicals or pesticides, but this big we have to. But we minimize it, like maybe 2 times a year when we're ready to plant new taro. Yeah, we just spray it down. But the papayas, aside from the initial laydown area, I don't grow papayas. They just come up. It's amazing to me, just the fact that there's so much food here, and there's places that have food shortages and they're dying of starvation. I mean, there's food everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you think if all of a sudden we didn't get any more shipments in from off island,
we would thrive? Health-wise, we would thrive.
probably more than we get with the food coming in.
The bad thing is that our Samoan people, with the introduction of Western foods, and they wouldn't know how to come back to our original way of living.
The meal we had the other night was nothing but local. We, back in 1966, there was a devastating hurricane. Prior to that time, it was all follies and, the traditional plantations and what have you. As soon as that came and just wiped the green right off the mountains, that's when they started importing rice and the store-bought stuff. And it became so much easier to boil a pot of rice than to come out and harvest the taro and the bananas. So that changed a lot of things back then. You know what pisupo is?
Oh yeah,
Yes,
it's like
pisupo,
corned beef.
yes.
Yeah.
When the military would come in, they'd have a lot of the canned corned beef. And then as they ran out of that to trade with the local people, they started trading the pea soup cans. That was the first they wanted to, unload. So anything in a can was called, it was pea soup. And so the Samoanized name is pisupo.
I had no idea about that. That's crazy.
I'm not going to tell you his age, but he's a lot older, and if you could see, he's very well built. But the man, and like I said, even though there's like widespread rice and whatever, but he enjoys his indigenous foods and the exercise. But like myself and my husband, I mean, we couldn't get on without him. He's a lifesaver. Mama ka memória. Sei mais cacalo.
Como
Sei yakul kalo I fayase. Nate, remember the taro that we pulled out?
Yes.
Okay, this is a taro, guy, and this is how we harvest it. So as I mentioned, Lama is my lead guy, and he's single.
Three of those is about $12 or $15.
Yeah.
Am I right? Is
Yes.
that-
Yes.
That's ready to go right into the umu. Right there, isn't it?
My kids used to do this, and we used to be big softball fans.
It's called a screwball.
It whistles.
Ah.
It whistles. So the next time you find one of the like this,
The face.
Leslie's good at it. Yeah, Mama's arm got a little bit rusty, but if it's empty and you throw it,
No, I can't do it.
maybe it's on a windy day, but
Yeah.
they whistle.
That's so cool. We're gonna have to keep trying that.
Or maybe. You ever see those big stalks? It looks like just like
Yeah.
that's what he is.
Oh, I thought it was like palm or something, or
He's just a baby.
How would you prepare that?
See, now I haven't perfected that. There's a certain way that you would clean it. You know, like kalo, how you just bottle the skin off. I use potato filler. But anyways, with the kamu, the outer layer, they call it efeu. It makes your throat itchy. So if you don't cut it just right, there's a certain part of the kamu, like I think the top or the bottom part. I haven't figured that out. So, but there's a way that you bottle the kamu so that you don't have that itchiness in your throat.
Would you just throw it in an umu like everything else?
You
or-
could do umu. They slice it in smaller, manageable. So usually they're like this big in half. But yeah, that goes in the umu.
Oh, cool.
Fa'i's going. Everything goes in the umu.
Yeah.
Can you see this?
Yeah.
Well, he's not edible. He's old. This is how big it gets.
Oh, wow.
But you know what? Even though he's dead and he's dry, he's still growing. So what
Oh
we
my
would
gosh,
do,
yeah.
I mean, he's got to be like 4 feet, probably more. What we would do, let him continue growing, chop off the dry, food everywhere.
Yeah.
But all that forestry, just as I mentioned, if you don't need it, leave it alone. You want to keep most of the ones that are not so prevalent now.
Yeah.
I don't have my own donut.
awesome. You guys getting something to drink?
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, did you get it all over yourself?
When he opened it, he splattered it all over me.
Awesome.
Not bad.
The first two lessons that I learned was the spinning, and the 8. How we're gonna do the spinning is you hold your hands out. Hold your hands out.
So we're practicing?
Yeah, you get to practice.
And we're gonna go like this. Like this. And then make sure your hand is like this. And then you bring this hand.
Whoa.
6:45, and in the village of Vaitongi, that's when they do Sa, which if you haven't watched our channel before or you don't know a lot about Samoan culture, it's when they have a short period of time, kind of at the end of every day, where they have everybody kind of stop within a village, and you really should go inside. It's a time for prayer or a little bit of reflection time, and we're not near a house. We're out here getting ready to do the turtle and shark to have the song sung, and so what we do when we're just kind of out and not at a house is kind of sit down in place. So for the next 5, 10, 15 minutes, however long it's supposed to be for Sa, we're just going to kind of sit here and reflect on the day and be kind of quiet. And fortunately, it's a pretty good place to enjoy the quiet for the next few minutes. Our night's not over though. We get to see an amazing fire knife dance. If you haven't ever seen a fire knife dance before, you're not sure what that is, keep your eyes open. You're about to see. State fire over. See that?